Welcome to Future Business School's Book Bites. Today, we'll dive into one of the most celebrated novels in English literature, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Set in the early 19th century, this classic novel explores themes of love, social class, and personal growth through the story of Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. We're not just summarizing the story though, we're taking the key lessons from this timeless book and mapping them to modern-day life so you can apply them easily. Let's begin. First impressions aren't always accurate. A key theme in Pride and Prejudice is that first impressions are often misleading. Elizabeth Bennet initially sees Mr. Darcy as arrogant and aloof, while he perceives her as too quick to judge. Over time, they both learn that their initial assessments were wrong.
This is something we all experience in life. Think about meeting a new colleague or boss. Have you ever misjudged someone only to later realize they were completely different from your initial perception? For example, imagine a new manager who comes across as cold and distant in their first meeting. You might assume they're unfriendly, but as you get to know them, you might realize they're just highly focused and caring in different ways. Just like in the novel, we learn to see beyond first impressions in real life. Both Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy have to overcome their pride and prejudices to find happiness together. Darcy is proud of his social status, while Elizabeth is prejudiced against those who seem arrogant and wealthy.
In modern relationships, whether professional or personal, we often have to check our own pride and prejudices to build meaningful connections. For example, imagine a team project where two people have very different working styles. One is detail-oriented, while the other is more big-picture focused. Initially, both might find it hard to work together because of their own biases. But by recognizing and overcoming their preconceived notions, they could create a strong and effective partnership. The same can be said for friendships and romantic relationships. Open communication and a willingness to look past differences are key. Throughout the novel, both Elizabeth and Darcy undergo significant personal growth. They learn to reflect on their own flaws. Darcy becomes more humble, and Elizabeth becomes more open-minded.
This applies directly to real-life self-improvement. Think about how in business or even personal life, growth comes when you are willing to examine your weaknesses and work on them. For instance, you may be a successful entrepreneur who is struggling with delegating tasks because of a need for control. But as you evolve, you'll learn that trusting your team can actually lead to better outcomes. Personal growth often comes from recognizing our blind spots, just like it did for Elizabeth and Darcy. The novel critiques the rigid class system of the 19th century. Darcy initially judges Elizabeth for her lower social standing, but ultimately realizes that her intelligence, wit, and character make her far superior to many of the aristocrats he knows.
In modern times, this translates into breaking stereotypes around social status or professional titles. In the workplace, for example, a junior employee may have brilliant ideas that could help a company grow, but if they're judged solely on their title, their potential might be overlooked. The message here is clear: don't let titles or social backgrounds define a person's worth. Skills, ethics, and attitudes are what truly matter. In Pride and Prejudice, Elizabeth Bennet faces pressure from her family, particularly her mother, to marry well. However, she refuses to compromise her values and chooses to marry for love rather than wealth.
Many of us can relate to family expectations and societal pressures. Take career choices, for example. You might be pushed towards a stable, high-paying job by family or society, but your passion might lie elsewhere, such as in art or entrepreneurship. Like Elizabeth, it's crucial to balance societal and family expectations with personal freedom and happiness. Real-life examples include individuals who leave high-paying corporate jobs to pursue their dreams in the arts or in startups, defying traditional expectations to follow their true passions. Austen emphasizes the importance of communication, especially between Elizabeth and Darcy. Their relationship transforms once they begin to communicate honestly about their feelings and perceptions.
In today's world, whether in professional or personal relationships, communication is key. Misunderstandings often arise from assumptions or a lack of open dialogue. In the workplace, imagine a scenario where a project falls behind schedule because team members didn't clearly communicate expectations. Once they openly discuss their concerns and challenges, they can work together more effectively. In personal relationships, honest communication is vital to understanding each other's needs and perspectives, just as Elizabeth and Darcy learn.
Austen shows that true character is revealed through actions, not just words. While Mr. Wickham charms everyone with his words, it is Darcy who proves his worth through his actions, helping Elizabeth's family and protecting their honor.
In real life, we often encounter people who talk a good game but don't follow through with actions. Think about business leaders who make promises to their employees but fail to deliver on them. The lesson here is simple. Pay attention to what people do, not just what they say. In both friendships and professional settings, actions speak louder than words.
Elizabeth is constantly navigating the pressures of societal expectations, especially the expectation to marry well. Yet she follows her personal desires, marrying Darcy for love rather than fulfilling society's standard of marrying for wealth.
This is a lesson we can all relate to today. Think of the expectations society places on us: getting a stable job, getting married, buying a house, all in a particular order. While these goals are valid, it's essential to pursue what truly makes you happy. Just like Elizabeth, you need to follow your own path, even if it goes against the grain.
As the title suggests, prejudice is a central theme in the novel. Both Elizabeth and Darcy have their biases and must overcome them to truly understand and respect each other.
In real life, we all carry biases, whether we're aware of them or not. These biases can affect how we interact with others, whether it's based on appearance, social background, or education. For example, in the hiring process, employers might unconsciously favor candidates who fit a particular mold. By recognizing and overcoming our biases, just like Elizabeth and Darcy do, we can build more inclusive and fair environments, whether it's in the workplace or in personal relationships.
Elizabeth Bennet is a model of self-respect and independence. She turns down Mr. Collins's proposal, even though it would secure her family's future, because she refuses to marry for convenience.
This lesson is especially relevant for anyone who's ever felt pressure to conform to societal norms. In modern times, think of entrepreneurs who defy the traditional career path to follow their vision despite the risks. Like Elizabeth, they choose independence over security. A famous example is Elon Musk, who risked everything to pursue his entrepreneurial dreams rather than settling for a comfortable corporate career. The key takeaway here is to never compromise your self-respect for short-term security.
One of Darcy's greatest strengths is his ability to reflect on his mistakes. After being rejected by Elizabeth, he realizes that his pride was standing in the way of his happiness and personal growth.
This is a vital lesson in leadership and personal growth. Think about leaders who are willing to reflect on their mistakes and grow from them. For example, Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, has spoken publicly about the mistakes he made during the company's expansion, but used those experiences to become a better leader. Personal growth starts with humility, and just like Darcy, we must be willing to learn from our own errors. In conclusion, Pride and Prejudice offers timeless lessons on love, character, and societal expectations. Whether it's about breaking through social norms, understanding the value of true character, or navigating personal relationships, these lessons continue to resonate in today's world.
So, which lesson from this classic will you carry with you? How will you use these insights in your daily life? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Pride and Prejudice, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Future Business School for more enriching content. Stay tuned for our next book bite.